Hey, all right. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's well, and hope you all are having an absolutely amazing night. Okay, so hopefully, um, straight. So, hey, everybody. Hope you're well and having an absolutely fantastic Sunday evening. Please be sure that you like and share. So, let me encourage you to do this. Go ahead and like and share the stream. I know you haven't seen me. Well, sometimes you see me through the week, but it's been a little second on a Sunday night. So please go ahead and like, share, love, share. Tell somebody else about it. We're not gonna be a long live tonight. I want to share a couple things. Always about graphics. I'm sorry. Always about creatives. Some marketing stuff, some creative stuff. So I'm kind of, where my ideas come from about what to talk about. Some things that I usually encounter with. Thank you for the like. Appreciate that. Let me know that you're here. Type your name. Say, hey, what's up? Let me know that you are in town. Okay. Let me know that you're here. So let me tell you where my content usually comes from. I meet a lot of people because I do graphic design. So my full-time, business is graphic design, really graphic design and music. So what happens is I end up connecting to quite a few people because of those two categories. So I do work for all kind of people, singers, just maybe they're not have national names, but you know, singers, artists, music artists, pastors, ministers. A lot of my work is in the faith-based community. That wasn't on purpose. That just because that's where I come from. I come from the faith-based community. I'm a church kid or a church girl, and so I've grown up in church all my life, and I've grown up in church all my life. So a large part of my life, of course, is church, and it's something I know very well. I've been everything in church but the pastor, and hope Jesus is not saying to do that. Amen. So it's been it's a road. It's not always easy, but I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm grateful that I'm able to still serve people all over the country. It's a really dope thing. So that's where my content comes from. It comes from a lot of times conversations I have with people, things that I hear that I cannot, and not sharing people's business. Let me be clear, but sometimes I can't say what I always want to say because it may not be the right space. Sometimes I feel like people can't. They may not be able to receive what I'm saying, and you have to. When you're a business owner, you have to definitely choose your battles. You have to, know when to hold them and when to fold them. I just think it's a part of being a business owner. I think the same things apply to being a pastor, or, being a leader, working at being a CEO of a company. Sometimes you just got to know when to speak and when not to, when to correct and when not to, because everybody's not open at that moment. Some people, because of the space and place they play in your life, um, it's the right time to say something. I was gonna say something else, even if they can't receive it, but the truth is somebody needs to be in a space to receive it in order for the goal to be accomplished. So let's talk about creatively. People often hear me say, take professional pictures. And while I have explained it quite a few times, I'm going to explain it again because of a particular project I have been working on. And so, the things I say are they're never malicious or they're never, anything like that. I really just say stuff because I want to help. And I want to help people not make unnecessary errors or spend unnecessary money. Yes, I'm a business owner. Yes, I do it. Yes, I make money, but I also do it because I love it. And it's hard for a creative to help you when you don't know where you are going. So I'll say that again for somebody in the back. It's hard to help you when you don't know where you are going. And if you're not open to a different lane, or if you're not open to something different, it's going to be hard to help you. That's just the truth. While people, I believe that I do what I do well, and that's in a very humble way. I've worked hard to be where I am today and still working at it every single day. I'm not, you know, there's always going to be somebody greater than me. There's always going to be somebody greater than you. So the truth is, I'm not the greatest graphic designer God ever created. That's the truth. That doesn't mean I don't think I'm good. That just means that you have to be um, in the reality that there's always going to be somebody greater than you. There's always going to be somebody that does what you do better. There's always going to sing. It was somebody that can sing the song better than you can sing it. There's always going to be somebody who can write, the paper or create a movie better than you created it. That's just the truth. So you have to be, in that space. It keeps you humble. So, but I do believe what I do it well, and so what happens with me is I'm a creative, and I see sometimes what you don't say. Sometimes while people are talking, things come to life for me while they're talking. I may pause Yeah, if you're sitting in front of me, like today, I was with a friend and they were telling me about some things they're working on. And while they were talking, I paused. I was like, oh, because I got an idea. And so as the more they talked, the more I saw the idea unfolding. And or more I saw the, I'm sorry, I keep, because it's here like somewhere here that's bothering me. Okay. So the more they talked, the more I understood. That's how my gift works. The way my gift works is the more you talk, the more I understand. That's the reason why I like to have conversation with people, because it helps, it gives me clarity. And I always tell people, I hear what you don't say. It's not that you're not saying what you want. It's there's a part of you that sometimes people are not always able to communicate. So I hear what people don't say. So that being said, again, I really, really love you. Like and share if you're here. Tell me that you're here so I can acknowledge that you're here, whatever, whatnot. Okay, so what happened this particular project that I've been working on is that the client did not have the right pictures for what they were going for. So let me say this: if you're a music artist and you want to sing country, you have to have things that match with that. I'm not saying you have to be in a cowboy hat with a guitar, but I'm just saying something has to correspond to what you're trying to do, right? So if you're a country star, I said if you're trying to sing country music and you have on a St. John knit with a big old hat with rhinestones, it's going to give off a different kind of flavor than what you may be going for. So what's super important is that you be sure, you see me looking down, we're typing, but it's super important that you be sure that you have the right things in place so you can get the response that you're going for. So this is why it's important not to go too fast. This is why it's super, super important not to. Sometimes what happens is people seek to do something and they move. I say this all the time, and they move too fast. So the reality is your song doesn't have to come out today. And listen, this is, please just hear my heart. The reality is if we're waiting on your music, we've already been waiting and we're in anticipation for what you're going to do. It's better for you to slow down, take your time, make sure every I is dotted and make sure every T is crossed before you decide to release the music, before you decide to release the book, before you decide to release whatever your brand new product line. It's better. I'm not saying it's going to be absolutely perfect, maybe even the first time, but you really should. I do encourage that you strive for perfection and hear my heart. I'm just saying strive. Okay, there's a better way. Strive for excellence. Like be sure. Don't just release it because it's like, I just been waiting. You want to release it, when it's like when you bake a cake, although I'm not a baker, okay. But when you bake a cake, if you pull the cake out the oven too early, it is a possibility the cake will the cake will flatten, right? Or the inside won't be done. And if people eat it, they could possibly get sick because all the ingredients inside have to cook thoroughly. They have to cook all the way through in order for the product to be what it's supposed to be. That's going to be hard to do if, hi, Pastor Jay. Hi, Sonia. So that's going to be hard to do if you pull the cake out the oven too long. So I just want to encourage you from whether you're a pastor, yeah. So even that lane right there, some people, and I'm just saying not because the pastor just came on, but again, this is because of what I do every single day. So some people, they rush to start the church and they rush to get the building and they rush to and sometimes you have to go through certain obstacles before you get there. So it's okay if you're having church in a hotel. You're not any, let me say this for any pastor that may come and say this today, tomorrow, next week, next year, listen, you are not less than, your gift is not less than, you didn't hear God less if you're having church and you're having it in a hotel. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. This is just a place that you're at for right now. It's just temporary. It won't last forever. If you're a music artist and right now you're not able to release a project that's on the Sony label, it's okay. You're not less than. Sometimes you're getting something better than you realize, but take your time. Don't be in a rush. I'm not saying be lazy. I'm not saying don't move. What I am highly encouraging is that you take your time, because this particular project I was working on, it was very evident that the person rushed, and that maybe they did not seek wise counsel. They didn't seek the counsel from people who were already in a space that they've been in, before, to say, should I release this right now? Is it ready? So there's something called radio ready. When you release a song, I'm just using music as part of my life, right? So when you release a song, the song really needs to be under 4 minutes. It needs to be like 3 minutes and maybe like 20 seconds at most, something to that effect. So if you give us a 6-minute song, the problem is the radio may reject it if you try to send it to radio because it's too long. So you already have to have a radio edit. So if your song, the intro was really long, or this part is really long, sometimes you got to get to the point a little faster. But you don't know that if you're just doing it all by yourself and you refuse help. And you refuse help and you don't want anybody to help you because you got it, because whatever happened prior to the prior project, you're still holding on to that frustration. And the new people that has been, if you may not be a believer, if you're watching this, but I'm not pushing it on you. I'm just saying, if somebody's coming to your life, or for me in my world, if God sent some people into your life, that doesn't mean they're going to do you like the last people did. So you have to be open to trying new things. You have to be open to trying new things. I'm laughing because Pastor Jay said something to me one time. He said, you just got to be open. And sometimes you can hear that for yourself. So I'm just saying, be open to new people, but also, let me help you, slow down. I'm telling y'all what I know. When you go too fast, you miss pivotal moments. You miss really important parts that will help you along the way. And if you miss those parts, then what's going to happen is you're gonna skip something, and you may have to come back and do it again. Let me tell you something that happens with music, and I believe it happens with books, especially in this era right now, because the patience of people, definitely the consumers, is not what it used to be. Consumers musically would wait. We would wait a whole year, 2 years, 5 years for Prince to release new music, right? And we listened to it and listened to it and listened to it till he gave us new music again 5 years later. But now the patience of the consumer is not the same. So, my mom, your mom, depending your age, my mom can listen to a project over and over and over. Yeah, I can too, really. And it doesn't, you consume it differently. But this particular age of people, the patience of the consumer is shorter, much shorter, like a whole lot shorter. So that's why you see music coming out in droves like that, because the patience of the consumer is shorter. They don't have the capacity to wait, on the next, like listen to it. Like, I don't know, Jodeci, Forever My Lady. I could listen to that song 800 times over, like literally every day. But I'm a different consumer from a different era. So I have the patience to wait, but most people do not. And this is how most people, business owners, music artists, things like that, that's how people get in trouble, because they want to move too fast. And again, let me just again encourage you, when you move too fast, when you don't have wise counsel, when you don't have people around you who do what you do and who don't do what you do, like they're in a whole nother level of life, and you don't seek counsel from those people. You don't say, should I do this right now? I'm not saying you got to make sure the people around you aren't haters too. Like, 'cause sometimes people are on a different level of life, but they may be envious of what you're doing because they didn't do it. So you gotta, you gotta make sure you have the right people around you. But when you have the right people around you, they will pull your coattail and they will say, you know what, not right now. Like maybe we should start. Maybe we should slow this down. Maybe you need to. Maybe we should slow this down. Maybe you need to wait just a second and just hold on one moment. And I know that's hard to do, especially if you're waiting a long time. I've been waiting a long time to release music. Not blaming it on anybody. The reality is, I was scared of my own stuff. I was, I wanted it to be beyond perfect, and the reality is sometimes it won't. But being perfect and being excellent are two different things. So being an excellence means you've dotted every I, you've crossed every T, you've sought counsel, you've made sure that these things are done. I'll use music again. It's copyrighted. All the things are taken care of. Perfect sometimes, when you strive, you should strive for perfection. However, sometimes if you want it perfect, you'll never release it. You'll never release the book. You'll never release the project or the clothing line or whatever have you, because it's like always like, dang. So I'm encouraging you to strive for excellence. Strive to make it be the best that it can be. And as you grow in whatever it is you're doing, then it becomes better over time. If I would have waited till I was perfect to start a graphic company, or start doing graphic design, I would have never started because I wasn't perfect in it. I'm still not. So it's just, for whatever reason, again, I pull content from things that I experienced through the week, conversations I have, and then my whole goal is to help other creatives, help other business owners, other music artists that are in the middle of it, not make unnecessary errors, help you to know you're not here by yourself, help you to know that I got your back. You may not know me, you may not ever meet me. I hope I do, but the goal is, you got to keep pushing. You got to keep striving, no matter what. No matter what. I had the opportunity to talk to a friend's niece today, and for the first time, I was able to share with someone at an age that I wish somebody shared with me. Stay in school, no matter what. So the auntie didn't know I was having this conversation with her niece, but at that moment, I felt like it was the perfect moment. I'll say it was cool. I'm sure it was cool to do, but at that moment, I felt like it was a perfect moment to share with her when she started sharing with me her dreams. I said, no matter what happens while you're in school, no matter how frustrating it becomes, no matter how many days you want to give up, because you will, do not quit. Stay with the process no matter what. You're going to be in class, and the teacher's going to tell you it absolutely cannot be done this way. This is the wrong way. And sometimes what happens with creatives is we see it another way because there is another way. Now that was good. You should write that down. Okay. I'll say it again. Sometimes we see it another way because there is another way. But what happens sometimes in textbooks, because there's certain guidelines that have been written, or certain formulas that have been established, people feel like, no, it can't be, it can only be done this way. And that's not really true. But what's important is that you absorb those guidelines that you're giving them, and then apply your own. So if you were to cook chicken, the chicken does have to be cooked at this certain degrees or this certain temperature to be well done. But, the instructor may say, well, you have to wait until it's completely done to add the sauce. But you may say, no, I feel like I should add the sauce like 5 minutes prior. And maybe when you add it, it's something, it tenderizes the chicken. I'm just guessing. It tenderizes the chicken, or it adds this certain punch to it that's necessary. But the instructor may say no, because this is the formula. So that's the other part. I want to encourage you that there's more than one formula. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to do graphic design. There's more than one way to write a paper. There's more than one way to write a movie. Now, again, there are certain guidelines. When I have to print, when I have to do graphics for print, the graphic does have to be at a certain resolution. It does have to be print ready. It does. Some companies, see right there, some companies don't require it to be at what is called CMYK, which is a color mode. They don't require it to be at that. Some companies are fine with RGB, which is another color mode. But what's important is I know both ways. I know that there's a CMYK, and I know that there's RGB. The question is, what the company, what can I give to them? What is the preference? So it's important that you learn the formula, but then when God gives you a different formula, when he gives you a different way, that you're open to that, because you're opening up these waves that people may not see at first. Recently, a musician shared something with me. He really helped me out while I was traveling with Kevin Lemons. He really helped me understand something about creatives. Creatives are able to open up another realm. And I know I gotta be careful, because I don't want people, I don't want to make it spooky, and nor do I want people to think I'm being like, I don't know, weird. But the reality is I'm probably a little weird sometimes. That's just the reality. So he helped me to understand the reason, like for me, I see pictures, words turn into pictures for me. And so he helped me understand something about myself. I said, because I'm always seeing, right? I could be in church and I'll be like, I can be singing. While I'm singing, I see this, I see this, I see this happen. Or today when my pastor was talking, I saw this, I saw this, I saw this. So my pastor watches this, like, what did you see? I saw this, 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 I saw this. All while he's talking, it's like unfolding. Ideas are happening, like just like that's where my brain works. I'm saying these things to you to say, creatives, what happens is they see things and they see it in another realm. Sometimes they see another formula. They see it another way. So if you are raising a creative, if you are a parent and you're raising a creative, and you cannot figure out why this kid keeps drawing the circle the opposite direction, it's because they see it another way. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. They just see it another way. Dyslexic kids, they read backwards. They just see it another way. So if you're raising a creative, I highly encourage that you find out what your child is good at. If they're good at music, I've been raising music all my life, so I was able to retain very well musically. I probably have thousands of songs in my head, right, that I just know like off the back of my head. But my parents didn't always know that. And so we didn't know till later that could have been applied to my education. So all to say, there's always another formula. If you're a parent who's raising a creative, find out what your kids are good at so you can help them achieve the best way they can. If you're a pastor and you're leading creatives, be open to sitting down with them and talking to them and hearing them. Most of the time, I feel like creatives are not heard because sometimes it sounds like they're bouncing off the wall. But sometimes it's just so many ideas. It's really hard to digest it all at one time. Sometimes when you're creative, the ideas are coming like this, constantly, constantly, constantly. So I always carry a notebook with me. Anybody who knows me well, I always have a notebook, always, because ideas are always coming. Even when I took a little, self-care day, I was with Kevin Lemons. He said, "Aren't you supposed to be off?" And the person next to me says, "She's always thinking." I'm always thinking, so that's why I always have a notebook. So I'm saying this to say, if you're creative, you should carry a notebook. But if you're a pastor and you're pastoring creatives, I want to just encourage you from a creative to be open to their ideas, be open to, what they see. Every idea may not pan out, but a lot of times creatives aren't heard, and so they get stuck and they feel stuck, and you know, you never know. So be open to their ideas, help them to balance out their, help them to understand the balance, help them to shape it, to mold it, because being a creative is not as easy as it appears. It seems easy. It seems easy to create, flyers or business cards or banners and stuff like that. It seems easy to write a book, maybe. It may seem easy to write a film or to make a movie, especially with the way technology has grown. But the truth is, great things take time, and nothing happens overnight. One other thing I wanted to share tonight before I want to pray, and then I'm going to jump off. One other thing I want to share tonight is something I don't want to take credit for it. My pastor's wife, or co-pastor, her name is Jacqueline White. So yes, you should check out Half Life Church. She said something today that I thought was really, really good. It was at the end of service when they were doing the meet and greet for the visitors, and I'm glad I stayed because I got some key information, some really key wisdom. And she talked about how, basically, everybody wants to be her friend. And she's saying, I may not have, you may not want to be my friend, because the truth is, I'm going to have to ask God, do I have capacity? Should I be this person's friend? What part should I have in their life? And there are other parts she said that I thought was so good, is she may not have the capacity to have that in her life. It's not that she wouldn't want you to be, her friend. It's just that she may not have the capacity. And so when I was sitting there and I was listening to her, I thought I would want to share that with you, because it's the part that wasn't on the service today, which was that it's okay. You may not have capacity for everybody, and that's okay. So the truth is, you are lucky. You're extremely blessed if you get one good friend. If you have 5, wow. If you have 10, you're doing like better than most, and this is the truth. So it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to establish capacity, and you have to know what your life can handle. That's the truth. A lot of us want to be in relationships, including myself, but sometimes we have to look at where we are in life, and see if we can handle the capacity of that, what a relationship requires, or the time it may require. If you have one good friend, Sonia Battle, if you have one good friend, you are doing good, and that's the truth. Good friends, let me tell you something, good friends are very hard to come by. Good friends that are loyal, that love you in good, bad, and indifferent, that will tell you the truth. Good friends tell you the truth, not in back of you, but in front of you. They tell you the truth. They tell you when you're wrong. They tell you when you're right, but they got your back. Good friends tell you the truth in front of you. They don't wait. So, and it's not always to do. It's not always easy to do. It's not always easy to do those parts, right? So all I want to do is encourage you to know your capacity. She said that, I thought that was so phenomenal. Like she said, I don't have the capacity. She's a mom, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's a pastor's wife, she's a co-pastor of a church. That's enough in itself. And then you add friends to that. Oh yes, yeah. One more time. You know the capacity for what you can handle. You may not be able to handle 5 businesses. So the reality is, don't get envious about what other people have, because you don't know how much capacity they had to expand. You don't know how much they had to expand themselves to do that, to have that space. To listen, you may get envious if you're a music artist or you watch this, and you may get envious of, I don't know, I picked some up of Mary J. And you're like, oh, I wish I had Mary J's life. But all the stuff that the girls went through, do you have the capacity for that? Do you have the capacity for a public divorce? I'm not saying that's what happened to you. What I'm saying is, sometimes we look at other people's lives and we see them and we become, it's one thing to say, man, I want to be like that. Like, how do I become like that for myself? For you, right? It's different when you take a little part of this, take a little part of that. But when you want someone else's life to the point of when you just do everything they do, then you don't know what it took to be them, and how much they had to stretch, and how much capacity they had to create in their lives to become that. So even for business owners, sometimes we just get envious of other people, and oh man, I wish I created like this person. I wish I created like that person. And you don't know what they go through to create like that. That's just real talk. You don't know what a person does to get to where they are. It's not always what it seems. Somebody may get high, and I'm not talking about a weed high. I'm saying someone may, take ecstasy every night to achieve this music that you hear, and you don't know that. So you just hearing it and you're thinking, oh, I want to be just like them, like identical. And you don't know what it's taken for them to do that. So know your capacity, know how much you can handle, know what you can and cannot handle. Sometimes we want these people, be a guy, be a girl. Sometimes we want to be with certain people and we don't know what it's going to take to be with them. They have a high, strong personality. Their life is extremely busy. So a person may look at me like, and I'm just using me because it's, my space, but, someone may look at me, a guy may look at me like, oh, I want to be with Yolanda. But, I'm a very busy girl. I'm a very busy girl. I was gone last weekend. I was gone the weekend before that. I was in 2 different states. I don't even remember. This weekend I'll be home. Next weekend I'll be in Austin. Then I'll be in Durham. Then, I'm a busy girl. And I love what I do. I love doing graphic design. I love singing. I love music. And I love singing. I could sing all day, every day. And it would never bother me, right? So do you have the capacity for that? Do you have the capacity to be with a person who may you wake up and they're singing in the shower at 2 a.m? I'm just saying, sometimes we want stuff, but we don't know what goes with it. Could you deal with a girl who may wake up in the middle of the night praying? But we want stuff, but we don't know what goes with it. So this may flip it for girls who want to be with pastors. And this is my space. I'm not bashing anybody. I just want to help you. Okay. So he's fine. He's good looking. And let's not just put it at pastors. Let's, pastors, CEOs, athletes, all that kind of stuff. And so he's fine and he's all tatted and it's like, oh my God. But you don't know this guy plays ball. He's going to be gone most of the time. There are going to be a string of women that are going to be wanting this guy 24 hours a day. And now social media has induced, right? So there's always going to be something. And I'm not saying that they're not faithful ball players. I'm not saying that you couldn't find a guy for you and he plays in the NBA and it not be something amazing. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is know your capacity. Know what you can handle. You may be the pastor, he may be great, and but people are always going to be pulling on him. They're always going to want his attention, and so the attention is going to be divided sometimes. Sometimes you won't always be first, although you should, and that should be the thing. But sometimes it takes a while to balance out. He's gonna have another girlfriend. That's gonna be the church. In some cases, not all. So all I'm saying is know the capacity of what you can handle. before you connect yourself to something or someone that may be beyond your reach. That doesn't mean you can't be with somebody great. That doesn't mean you can't have multiple businesses. That doesn't mean you can't have an amazing music career or movie career or actor, whatever it is you do. Just know your capacity. All right. So that was all. I just wanted to share a couple things that were on my heart. And as always, I am going to do more things in October. If you don't see me, it's because I'm on the road. And usually, if I'm on the road, that means I'm somewhere on a Sunday night. And I can't get to you guys. I can't get online. So next Sunday, this week I'll be home. So my goal, I'd really want to bring on some other panelists and talk about music. I want to talk about really establishing yourself in the music industry. I definitely want to talk about other areas of things. I really want to do a live on fashion with my friend Trayvon, my friend Pastor Jay, my friend Queen. So I'll call them out. Maybe we can figure these dates out. So that being said, you don't see me, it's only because I'm on the road and I just can't get to you. All right, but I hope everybody had an amazing Sunday. I hope you have a great, great week. Welcome to October. It's going to be amazing. I believe that. I hope you do as well. And I'm going to pray if you see this tomorrow, tonight, later tonight, tomorrow, and or next week. I just want to encourage you to keep going, keep striving for perfection, but most importantly, strive for excellence. Do your best at whatever it is you do. Don't skip over the steps, whatever that means. If you're working out, you know, you didn't get whatever size you are today overnight. So don't beat yourself up if you miss it. Just keep going for it, all right? I'm going to pray. And if you see this tomorrow, next week, next year, the prayer remains. And hopefully it'll be what you need for where you are, all right? Thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you for your grace, your love, your truth. We thank you for being an amazing God who does amazing things. And so, God, I pray in the name of Jesus that you bless the people that watch, the people that may see this tonight, tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year. I pray in the name of Jesus that you cover creatives from here all the way to the other side of the world. I pray in the name of Jesus that you help us create the best things to help people achieve, to help people become more, to help people do more, help us to not get discouraged, help us to realize why we started, stay true to who we are and to our purpose, help us to stay authentic in what it is that we do. And so we thank you. We bless you for being the great God because you do great things. And I pray, God, that you will keep us throughout this week, keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger, seen and unseen. And God, give us witty inventions, amazing ideas, help us to bring things to life. We thank you. We bless you because you're the great God. In Jesus' name, amen. Good night.